Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin did move down a little further yesterday, late yesterday, after my last video. But again, I warned already in the last video that we might just not see that follow through that we would like to see. If we consider the overall context here, then we recognize a pattern in which Bitcoin has so far avoided to follow through in this C wave to the downside. Bitcoin had the possibility already a couple of times. That was here, and it was here, and I believe it was here already. So Bitcoin has avoided so far to follow through a C wave from here, here, and is trying it again, but so far not with a lot of momentum. I shared with you in my first video yesterday around the same time that Bitcoin needs to break below this ascending trend line first to at least suggest further, confirm further that wave 3 of C is unfolding. What does it mean, wave 3? So it's typically the case that in any corrective wave, and this is clearly a correction, in Elliott Wave we distinguish between corrective patterns and impulsive patterns. Typically, after the first 5-wave move to the upside, which was the case within this larger degree third wave, that's a 5-wave move up, we see a 3-wave move down. That 3-wave move down in its most simple form consists of an ABC structure. And yes, there are other patterns that can unfold. For example, in a wave 4, it's a triangle that can unfold, but this cannot really be predicted until we see at least, sort of 3 legs of the triangle, a wave A, B, C. We haven't got that at this stage, but I mentioned before that, yeah, a triangle would be another option here. But, this 5-wave up, 3-wave down movement is required for a trend. It's the most simple form of a trend. And I would therefore always lean towards probabilities that we see a clear 3-wave structure. Now, in reality, the markets are sometimes a little bit more messy, less ordered, and sometimes the charts turn early, especially in bullish markets. In doubt, zoom out and understand what the bigger picture trend is, the larger time frame trend, which is clearly up. So essentially we talk about here, okay, do we get a little bit more of a pullback before trend continuation higher towards 50k plus is unfolding, or does it go up directly? The thing is, with a breakout to the upside directly towards 50k plus, that's possible. I just don't have the clear setup in the chart for that. This can only be managed with trading tactics and strategy. For example, careful accumulation within this range, or even trading a breakout to the upside. It is not entirely clear if we will see this C wave to the downside. And I've started to mention that yesterday because we recognized the pattern that we recognized end of October, which we used to forecast a more direct breakout to the upside. And at the time it was before Bitcoin broke above the 30k. And also now, we constantly obviously observing the chart. It just doesn't want to follow through, okay? The yellow count, however, is still my preferred option and preferred scenario. So I mean the yellow micro count, in which this C wave is already unfolding until the price breaks above the $43,837 level, because that's the invalidation point for a clear 5-wave move to the downside. It's the invalidation point because this wave too high would be taken out. At the moment, we might observe here potentially a small 1-2 setup, which could do this. But this second smaller degree wave 2 is not allowed to go or to move beyond the beginning of the small wave 1 here. Yeah, so that this is a possibility, possibly for another retest of the trend line. I wouldn't be surprised. And then maybe a follow through in wave 3 of 3 to the downside. But really, Bitcoin doesn't really follow through at the moment. So I can only really mention that as a warning. I mean, it depends on if you see it as a warning or not. It's more like there is a high potential that Bitcoin will break out directly. It's just not very clear in the chart and therefore not my primary scenario. And generally in the correction, all probabilities are fairly balanced. That's just the case within a correction. We're just tracking if we see finally this clear ABC structure, and until I see it, I cannot confirm this correction complete, or until I see a clear 5-wave pattern to the upside, which would need to a few more waves. That would be a direct breakout pattern, but we haven't got that at this stage as well. So what do I need to see? First of all, for this yellow microstructure and the direct pathway to the downside to follow through, I need to see a break below the ascending trend line next, followed by a break below 41,650, it's circle wave 1, and then we are at least a little further ahead in this structure. Until then, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Bitcoin at least tries to reset the B wave higher, which would be the case if there is a break above circle wave 2. Yeah? So we have to remain flexible here, and I will keep you updated. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.